boys and girls, to another round of Formula Kai Racing League. This week, we're racing around Baku, and this is one of the most chaotic races I've had in quite a while. I just couldn't, for the life of me, hold on to my front wing, but somehow, with every wing change, I never gave up, and my actual finishing position might just shock you. By the way, if you want to sign up for my very own racing league, the link, it will be in the description below. You can still sign up as a reserve for Season 2, but registrations for Season 3 will open up very, very soon with very big things planned for the league in the next iteration. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss out.
Drive slow to be fast. Just take a chill on the outlap. I thought my tower was going to explode from that.
Before I jump into the first hot lap of the day, there's a little problem. Your boy, once again, did not do any practice for this race. And with the way the batteries work now in qualifying, if you do not know the qualifying strategy,
here we go, boys!
Then you're fucked.
Yeah, remind me, we're the boost. We're a boost into turn 1. Okay, he used till what, 65? He used till 65. Careful for 100 medium board.
And after a decent but very confusing banker with a lot of time to find.
How much? I think he used more. Whatever. Should be a decent lap.
I had to go back to the drawing board.
I'm losing power.
Because this lap was not it. Battery management, it was just not great.
Okay, we can find more time. We can find more time, okay? Crash into the wall and do last and first. Yo, I don't need to. Look at my... I'm P8. I'm basically last. If you're not first, you're last.
But it's okay. We still got 2 runs to go. And after having looked at It's Fun Pookie's ERS strategy again, we hit the track running. With the track evolution, it should help me find a couple of crucial tenths in the second attempt. Decent speed carried through the castle section. 2.5 tenths up coming out of the slow section. Fah! A little Lico into this heavy braking zone. Breaking a straight line towards the outside to open up the corner. And we use a little boost on exit, but I turn it off too early, and that's gonna make us lose some time. And it's not the best exit either, going onto the final straight.
Okay, purple sector 2.
Half a second up as we approach the start-finish line. I briefly dropped down to P9, but with all this time gain, 6 tenths up across the line, it is going to be P4.
Imagine if I didn't hit the wall.
But as I was getting ready for the final run of the day, this is where something horrible happens.
The car feels... Oh.
It appears that in my hastiness, I may or may not have killed a man.
I don't think he was happy with that. Sorry, bro. Oh, I'm so sorry. Give me a quality van already.
Quality ban or no quality ban, we're gonna have to put that behind us now, because I think there's enough potential lap time for us to jump up another position or 2, enough for us to fight for the win today. And out of turn 1 and 2 already, gaining a lot of time, 2.5 tenths gain. This is where I made a mistake previously, and this is where we're gaining big. Might have used a little bit too much battery into the middle sector. So far, so good. A little too quickly into turn 4, and I lose a little bit on exit. Still, use the wall to slow ourselves down. And so far, we've retained all the time gain. But now, through this tricky chicane, where you have to open it up as much as possible, but then be quick on the power on exit. But for some reason, this time around...
What?
It just wasn't that good. And again, carrying a little bit too much speed and running deep. But this is where we had a poor exit before. So we gained actually a 10th back through the castle section, doing better than Leclerc did. But 3 tenths is the time gain as we head into the 3rd sector. And now we have to be careful with how much battery we use, because remember, the last 2 times we ran out of battery before we even got halfway down the straight. But through this heavy braking zone, I locked both fronts. What? And unfortunately, that has cost us big. And unfortunately, that's all hopes of improving gone.
Yo, kill a guy on his hot lap, bottle his last lap. Oh, I'm 1,000s behind Neymar Jr. Yo, who did I kill? I need to know. Who did I kill? All right. What league is this? Join my Discord and all shall be revealed.
Now, Baku is an interesting one strategy-wise because in F1 25, two-stop was actually viable here. But it means that you would box very early off of the mediums to go onto 2 sets of the hards. Because even though the tire wear is not super high, the pace drop-off is crazy in the middle sector. But that's gonna have to wait because 5 lights and away we go. We actually get a decent start, but I kind of get boxed in here and I don't want to take out the McLaren in front, but the 2 guys in front nearly put each other in the wall.
What the fuck are these 2 doing?
I briefly dropped down to P6 and Carl goes for a mega send, or maybe outbraked himself.
Oh, Carl. Carl just shot himself in the foot.
So far, we're only down 1 position compared to where we started, so it's not half bad. And not having done any race preparation, I don't really know what it's going to be like when the tires drop off. Which is why we're going to keep our cool for now and just follow the guys ahead.
Yeah, these guys are hitting the walls way too much. You guys know we're running sim damage, right?
Because sim damage is absolutely unforgiving around Baku. Anytime you rub your tires against the wall, you risk generating so much extra tire wear. And tire wear at Baku means more sliding, more locking up, and with the walls being this close to the track, it can only mean bad news.
Holy! Where did my battery go?
Which is why I'm going to err on the side of caution here, as I carry way too much speed into turn 1.
Oh my god, I almost hit the wall.
And I know if I play it smart, it would only be a matter of time before we would start gaining positions.
He's struggling through there.
And already at the end of the 2nd lap, we have plenty of battery to play with, and we got so much top speed. This setup is really coming in clutch. And even though the Ferrari driver has overtake from the cars ahead, he's out of battery already, flashing down the straight when we're still at 28%, and that is simply too huge of an advantage. There's just nothing he could have done. But this is where I noticed something strange. 2 of the 3 drivers in the top 3 are on the hards. An interesting strategy for sure, and I have no idea how this is all going to play out. The tire offset is definitely going to be interesting in the closing laps. But right here, I'm gonna tuck in the slipstream, overtake on.
Come on! Top speed!
Except we're not really gaining.
Oh, he's got so much top speed.
And we're gonna have to stay behind for now, lifting early so we can try again a little later. And ideally, I want to make these moves while the mediums are still faster than the hards. So I'm gonna turn on the battery again, outer turn 2.
Recharging?
He's already flashing, he's saving.
Fucking hell. Straight is not long enough.
And again, unfortunately, we don't gain enough to be able to go for a move.
Our time will come, our time will come. Be patient.
And this is when the first virtual safety car of the session comes out.
Yo, guys, 2-stop?
And this could really flip the race on its head. Because if the virtual safety car stays out until we reach the pit lane entry, you can bet your ass a lot of these medium runners are gonna go in and turn this race into a 2-stopper. And then it's game on between the 1-stoppers and the 2-stoppers.
But my mediums are still fine. If ESC is still out when we get to the pits, we box.
But unfortunately, things are not often so simple. I'm gonna have to keep trying the old-fashioned way. But critically, the medium runner in the top 3 has taken the lead of the race.
Oh, there's 2 guys on the hards. That's crazy, actually.
And this is good news for us, because if that medium runner's leading, he's gonna be able to slow these hard guys down and allow us to stay more easily in the train. But Gergo here is falling behind by quite a bit. He's struggling a lot, going wide in a lot of these corners, and he's outside of the 1-second window to have access to overtake on the next lap. And that is going to leave him vulnerable on the main straight. You can see how hard he's pushing, and so are we, adding a lot of extra tire wear to the rear tires. But he's already flashing before we even reach the main straight. And that is going to be an easy move into turn 1. And we're going to be able to move into P3 here. However, I did not expect this from Gergo.
Are you serious right now? This is not real.
It was going so well for us. So well. A little too well.
That can't be real. Oh, I'm not turning anymore.
And this has thrown a huge wrench in our plans. We were starting to gain track position, but because of that one mistake, we're just losing way too much time, and I have to use way too much battery to compensate to maintain pace. And this means we're going to be at a huge deficit on the straight, and we're going to be losing positions starting from now. Which is why, at the end of lap 6...
Now we're boxing this lap. Fuck.
But honestly, despite having to lose 5 seconds in the pits, we should be able to make all the time back with the undercut.
Bro, how was I supposed to know? Maybe I thought he was just defending.
Now, it's about full sending for the next few laps until the guys ahead box. We're gonna have to try to make up as much time as possible, because once they do, the tire difference is going to be ginormous.
Cars can make it to the end?
But that is going to be a problem for later on.
Yeah, I know they can make it to the end, but are they gonna be quick?
And by the end of this outlap, one of the leaders that was on the mediums has now come in, and we have managed to be just a little under 3 seconds behind. This is fantastic news.
Okay, we're only 2.8 seconds behind. Yo, the undercut is huge.
And this is actually really, really great news. And that gap to the cat is still shrinking. All we need to do is dispatch the traffic.
Oh, Trogger, you legend.
As Trogger moves out of the way to let us go. What a legend.
You beautiful man. Mwah.
Because we're doing an absolute banger of a job, gaining another second almost to the McLaren driver, because now he's going side by side with Yusuf, who's also on the old mediums, and he's losing so much time while we are just tucking in the slipstream and gaining out of every corner.
Is he boxing? Nope, they're fighting.
And critically, the McLaren does not manage to move past Yusuf here, at least not until the braking zone, where the fresh hards are just so much quicker relative to the mediums. But this has bought us some crucial time, as the Red Bull has a huge slide coming out of turn 2, and that's going to allow us to get on the power early, overtake on, and be able to move past into turn 4 before the middle sector, where now it is going to be a lot easier to follow the McLaren, as I almost lock the rears and go deep. Every corner is a potential DNF because the walls are just so close to the track. But we are doing absolutely amazing so far. 2.5 seconds to Neymar Jr. And considering that we had to spend an extra 5 seconds in the box to change the front wing, be able to come out exactly where we were before the pit stop is nothing short of amazing. But now we gotta find a way to get past the McLaren, because I feel like I have better pace in clean air, even though he boxed a lap later than I did.
Come on. You know you're losing a lot of time, buddy. Let me have it.
And he's not letting this one go so easily, using all of his battery to defend, but with the slipstream and overtake, somehow we manage to get the move done before we even get to turn 1. But now things get shifted around. Instead of being behind in the slipstream, I now lead, and going onto this next straight, it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to push in this middle sector so we can gap him just enough so that he doesn't think about going it into turn 1.
Is that big enough of a gap?
But luckily, we managed to gain just enough time to the 2 guys in front of us, so we catch a little bit of a slipstream. I don't know if it changes anything here, but 3.5 tenths is the gap to the McLaren behind, and it looks like he's not close enough.
Go side by side in front. He's gaining because of the slipstream.
And honestly, I have no idea when these guys boxed. Maybe they did behind the VSC, but now I have to find a way to get past, because a lot of the one-stoppers are going to start to come in now.
It's going to be hard to overtake these guys, I feel.
And this is where I'm starting to consider whether it would be worth it to try to save the tires and go to the end.
I mean, can these hearts make it to the end? I'm up to 17% wear now.
Because we do have track position now compared to the one-stoppers, but the problem is we're going to have to stop again. And look at where Magnussen is. He is only 1.5 seconds behind us. This means if we have to box again, we're going to have to make up a full pit stop worth of race time. But hold on to the thought, because things are about to get dicey here. I tuck into the Ferrari slipstream. We're gaining so much coming up on a McLaren, and we make it 3 wide.
Oh, now this is racing.
Who knew Baku could offer this much high-quality racing? On lap 12, the last of the one-stoppers has gone into the pits, and this moves us effectively up to P3. And we're actually catching up a lot to Gergo. He who boxed exactly a lap before we did, and I had to repair the front wing damage going into the pits. So this means we didn't actually lose that much time in terms of race time. And he's been on those mediums quite a while now. He must be struggling a lot.
1.5 seconds per lap. I think we can kind of forget about P1, but we can catch P2 here.
And this is where he got me completely shocked. He decides not to go in. He is currently losing a lot of time on those mediums, and it will only take another lap, surely, before I got past. But this is when another safety car came out, a virtual safety car. It always comes out once we've driven past the pit lane.
No full safety?
We've just been really unlucky with the virtual safety cars today. It's always slightly too early or just a smidge too late. But by the next lap, he was struggling hard now, sliding almost everywhere. We're literally pushing him around in the middle sector. The hards are just such a better race tire. We're nearly on the back of the gearbox. 2/10 is the gap. But I'm gonna live. Going onto this straight, a full battery coming out of the final corner. I don't expect him to stay out much longer. I have to turn out the battery early in order to not run into him. And again, he's actually staying out here, which really confused me. But now we have another problem. Magnussen behind is looking very quick, and he's boxed 4 to 5 laps after we did. But going into turn 4, huge front luck up as I slide into turn 4.
No way, man.
And I damaged my front wing again in the process.
Fuck. How do I just lock out the front right? It's minor damage. I can live with it.
But unfortunately, this means I'm not gonna really put up a fight against Magnussen. Remember, he's on the 1 stop. And if we are to box now, we have to make up about 15 to 20 seconds in order for the 2 stop to be worth it. And with every lap that goes by, it's looking less and less likely.
Why is there never a safety car when you need one?
It is lap 17 now, and with every lap that goes by, I'm dropping more and more pace.
It's not really turning anymore.
And this understeer is also causing me to be under driving and over pushing in some areas to compensate. And in the space of just a lap or 2, Carl is gonna gain about 2 seconds on us.
Okay, I think I'm gonna box. Prepare the wing.
And this is a little bit less than ideal. All this hesitation has really cost us today. Not being committed to either one of those 2 strategies means we're not going to have that many laps to claw all this time back. But it does mean we're going to have the best tires on the grid by far.
When we're gonna come out? You told me you're gonna come out behind the cat.
But luckily, out of the pit exit, we managed to stay in front of the cat on way better tires. This is going to allow us to directly start pushing into the 2nd sector and start to make up time already.
Yeah, from what I remember, the tire degradation here is like super high.
And by the following lap, I had already gapped the cat out of the 1 second window, and he's not gonna have overtake for the next lap. And I'm already setting my sights on P4 here. The top 3 are a little too far away for us to do anything about them.
We're catching more than a second every lap.
Because we have lost about 10 seconds in total in the pits today just to change the front wing. But with every lap, I'm gaining time to P4 and 5. But there's not that many laps left. Can I catch them before the end of the race? That is the question.
3.3. 1 second every lap.
I'm full sending the car now because we don't have to manage these tires.
Jesus.
We're on a mission and we're on a timer. But the more I push, the more I'm gonna slide around.
It's like I have so much less turn in once and all of a sudden, what the fuck? Hey!
And the more I'm going to be prone to mistakes. We're currently sitting in P6 and there's only 4 laps to go at the end of this straight. 9/10 is the gap. We're gonna get overtake for this lap. Slightly more power on the straights and a little bit more regeneration in the middle sector. But unfortunately, we're not close enough to go for a move just yet. We're gonna have to wait another lap.
Might have to wait a lap to overtake him unless we get a good exit.
And the tire difference is absolutely huge. You can just see how much we're gaining coming out of every braking zone, every traction zone. We're gaining a 10th or 2. Again, he has a poor exit out of turn 2.
Don't think it's gonna happen
tugging
here.
his slipstream, turn on the battery, and he turns it off early.
Oh, next lap maybe. Oh.
And I'm absolutely shocked by how much I'm closing in by. So I'm going to go for a move. Have a little look down the inside, being careful not to overshoot the corner. And he's going to go defensive into turn 5. But we're going to be able to get the superior traction around the outside. Look at the difference when we're both coming out of the same traction zone.
Okay.
That was one of the most unexpected moves I've had in quite a while. Hey, don't mind if I do. But now we are 2.5 seconds behind Neymar with only 2 laps to go. The top 3 are kind of far now, so we're not really part of the equation anymore. But am I going to have enough time left to catch P4? Because catching is one thing and overtaking is another. Good kerfuffle. And on the very next lap, in just the space of a few corners, we managed to gain another half a second.
The rears are struggling already.
Rapidly running out of time, and the rears are already starting to suffer. But going through the castle section, where everything comes down to mechanical grip, we gain another half a second. The pace difference on these new tires, my God.
Not this lap, I think. Too far.
On lap 25, we managed to get overtake, but unfortunately I go a little bit deep coming out of turn 1. The gap is about half a second to Neymar. This is where we have to be strategic with the overtake. Do I go for it now and risk giving him the slipstream onto the final lap of the race, or do I stay behind? I decide to have a little look down the inside. Let's see if we can upset his exit a little bit. He goes defensive a little bit, and now I have the better traction. Around the outside we go into turn 5. Beautiful racing so far. He leaves the room on the outside, and now I have way more overspeed going into the chicane, but unfortunately we touch each other. I slightly outbrake myself, which is why I'm gonna lift and let him get back through.
Take it back.
Because I felt like I was more responsible for that incident. I outbrake myself and pushed both of us wide, but now...
Recharge early. Gotta keep everything for the straight.
We have to find a way to regenerate a little bit of battery going onto this main straight, because you can bet your ass that he's doing the same. He's going to be saving all of that battery for this straight. But luckily for us, we're going to be able to get back to 100% coming out of the final corner. I'm going to turn it off early because I don't want to go for it just yet. I need to stay close enough to gain the benefit from the slipstream, but I also don't want to burn all of my battery too early.
Oh, top 3 are fighting though. It's gonna get ugly.
But fortunately, even having the slipstream does not help him that much. The setup difference is simply too big. In the end, we managed to come around the final corner on the final lap, a second clear of P5, and we're gonna be able to walk away with the P4 here. Unfortunately, the top 3 were too respectful with each other. I was hoping that things could maybe get spicy on the final lap and we could maybe finish on the podium, but unfortunately, no dice.
Bro, if this was Creator Series, you know somebody would have blown up on the last lap. Did the best I could.
Even though this wasn't the best race from a perspective, even though this was not the best race from a performance standpoint, at least from my end, the racing quality though was something that I thoroughly enjoyed. And if this is something that you would also like to be a part of, you know where to find me. Join the Discord through the link below and we'll have everything set up for you. I hope you enjoyed this league race around Baku. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will be seeing you in the next one.